a self. We also discuss about the important aspects of human being when it comes to ethics, and that is our moral assumptions, wherein we have our free will, our freedom, and our reason. Okay, so for today, we are going to continue with the discussion about the moral agent. So pag sinabi nating moral agent, we are particularly referring doing the act or the person who is making a choice or decision, right or wrong, good or bad. So here we are going to look at the different factors that affects a moral agent's decision making process. Okay, and one of those factors is when it comes to the development of our moral um, reasoning. Okay? Kasi, um, kahit na sinabi natin no, na lahat tayo, as long as you are a human individual, you are born with a moral reasoning. Pinanganak kang may reason or rationality. But then again, we have to realize also that our moral reasoning undergoes different stages of development. Parang sinasabi natin na ang bata, hindi pareho ang moral reasoning niya sa isang matanda. Magkaiba pa rin ang perception nila ng kung ano ang tama at mali. Okay, kaya nga pagdating for example sa batas, meron tayong tinatawag na age of criminality. Okay, kung saan may specific age kung kailan ang isang nagkasala ay makukulong siya or madadala siya sa isang institution or program na nagkakalinga. Like for example, DSWD, wherein kapag teenager or wala pa sa age of criminality, instead of ikukulong siya, dadalhin siya sa isang institution kung saan kakalingain sila, parang gano'n. Or kasi nga, underage siya, parang gano'n. Okay? So wala pa sa tamang development, wala pa sa tamang maturity yung kanyang moral reasoning. And actually, the development of our moral reasoning has been interest and has been studied by many philosophers and many great thinkers. Like for example, a psychologist named Lawrence Kohlberg. Okay, so the man that you're looking at here is Lawrence Kohlberg. Okay, so sabi ni Lawrence Kohlberg, ang moral reasoning ng tao ay nade-develop, nag-undergo ng maturation process. Meron tayong tatlong level na pinagdadaanan at yung tatlong levels na yun ay nahahati ng 6 na stages. Okay. So his theory is called theory of moral development. Actually, this is a framework, no, tulad ng sabi ko kanina, in order for us to understand how individuals develop our sense of right and wrong throughout our lives. So, itong theory niya na to ay nag-originate or nag-build upon sa theory din ng isang psychologist na si Jean Piaget. Okay, si Jean Piaget, siya yung gumawa ng cognitive development theory. Yun naman, pinopose ni Jean Piaget yung kanyang theory kung paano na-develop ang cognitive intelligence ng tao. Okay, so from there, gumawa si Kohlberg ng theory niya, specifically nakafocus sa moral reasoning naman. Okay, kasi naniniwala siya na moral reasoning natin, yun din ang basis ng ating ethical behavior. At tulad ng sabi ko kanina, sabi ni Kohlberg, nag-progress itong moral reasoning development natin through a series of levels and 3 levels and 6 stages. Okay. But before we discuss these stages of moral development, i-share ko muna sa inyo no, yung isang moral scenario na ginamit ni Lawrence Kohlberg para i-illustrate itong different stages ng moral development theory niya. Okay? Wherein, nag-create kasi siya ng isang scenario, tapos shinare niya to sa iba't ibang klase ng tao. Okay? This scenario is actually designed to provoke yung moral reasoning and ethical decision making ng iba't ibang klase ng tao. Okay? Ayan. So, yung scenario na to ay yung tinatawag natin na Heinz dilemma. Are you familiar with the Heinz dilemma? Yes or no? Are you familiar with the Heinz dilemma? So yung Heinz dilemma is scenario or a story created by Lawrence Kohlberg. So the scenario goes like this. Okay, there was a man named Heinz. Okay, Heinz, H-E-I-N-Z, yung pangalan yung lalaki. And Heinz has a wife who is critically ill and needs a life-saving drug. Okay. Ngayon, yung drug na yon na kailangan ng critically ill na wife, it has been discovered by a certain pharmacist. Okay? At nag-iisa lang yung drug na yon sa buong mundo. The pharmacist charges a great amount of money for that drug. Okay? Actually, yung specific na presyo dapat ng gamot, ang china-charge ng pharmacist na nakadiscover doon ay 10. Okay? Imagine nyo yun, 10 times higher. So, nung nalaman ni Heinz na mayroong gamot na gano'n, pinuntahan niya yung pharmacist. At nag-request siya na bibilhin niya yung gamot. Pero yun nga, yung pharmacist, sabi niya, 10 times higher yung price ng gamot. Okay? So, syempre, wala namang magawa si Heinz. So, ang ginawa niya, he exhibited lots of efforts just to get. Like, for example, nanghirap siya sa mga kaibigan niya, sa family niya, nangutang siya, and all, para lang malikom niya yung pera na kailangan niya sa pagbili ng gamot. But then, kalahati lang yung nalikom ni Heinz na pera. Okay, kalahati lang nung 10 times na price na hinihingi ng pharmacist. So, desperate, pumunta siya sa pharmacist, nagkiusap siya na baka naman pwedeng bawasan yung presyo ng gamot. Okay, but then the pharmacist, of course, he refused. And he stated that ako nakagawa ng gamot and I need to make a profit from this discovery. Okay, it's my choice whether to sell it at whatever price I want. Sabi niya. Okay. So, syempre, very desperate si Heinz kasi critically ill mamamatay na yung asawa niya. Okay. Now, Heinz is left with a moral dilemma. Ano yung moral dilemma ngayon ni Heinz? Iniisip niya, should I steal the drug to save my wife's life? Or should I not steal it and let my wife die? Yun yung moral dilemma ni Heinz. Ngayon, ang ginawa ni Kohlberg, nag-interview siya ng iba't ibang tao at tinanong niya, kung kayo si Heinz, will you steal the drug to save your wife's life? Or should you not, or will you not steal the drug and let your wife die? So I'm going to leave this moral dilemma also to you and I want you to answer it. So if I'm going to ask you, ano ang gagawin niyo kung kayo si Heinz? Will you steal the drug or hahayaan yung mamatay na lang yung asawa niyo? Like you're left with no options na. Yun na lang yung natatayang option mo. To steal the drug or to not steal it. Okay. What will you do if you are Heinz? Anyone? What will you do? Can I call on... Go! Jess, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Gob.
Hello, ma'am. Yes po.
Kung ikaw si Heinz, anong gagawin mo? Will you steal the drug to save the your wife's life, or just let your wife die?
Ma'am, steal.
Why?
Siguro kung ano
Bakit
yun, ma'am.
steal?
Siguro kung asawa ko yun, ma'am. Ma'am, siguro kung asawa ko yun, ma'am, I will do anything just to save her life.
Asawa mo nga siya.
Yun nga, ma'am, no matter what consequences.
So,
basta mabuhay
kung
lang
asawa
siya.
mo siya, steal the drug.
Yes, ma'am.
Bakit kailangan mong steal the drug just for your wife to live?
Ma'am, kasi nakikita ko na dying yung love of my life sa hospital. Ay, dying siya sa sakit niya tapos wala man na akong kayang i-sacrifice ganun, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Jess. Parang busy kayo ngayon for college days. Ayan. O, para kay Jess, sabi niya, steal niya daw. Kasi, di ba, kung ikaw yung asawa, nakikip mo yung agony ng asawa mo na wala ka man lang magawa. Okay, to save the life of your wife, you will do anything. Okay, ganon siya. Ay, bongga pala magmahal tong si Jess. Do anything for the love of my life ko na. Okay, how about the others? Can I call on any volunteer? Si Cleo. Cleo, are you here? Cleo, yan mo. Are you here? Oh, wala si Cleo eh. Oh, si Dexter. Dexter? Dexter.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Dexter. Kung ikaw si Heinz, what will you do? Will you steal the drug to save your wife's life or not to steal and let your wife die?
Still, ma'am, syempre. Ma'am,
Siyempre. Sipin mo si ano yan.
ma'am, kasi I would willingly abandon my principles just to save the life of my life.
Abandon your principle. Grabe naman magmahal mga Kim-Eng. Nakakaloka. Willing to do anything and sacrifice everything just for love. Okay, thank you, Dexter. Ayan. How about the others? Meron bang magno-no? Merong magno-no? O lahat kayo yes? Wala? Sige. Okay. So actually, ang ginawa ni Colbert, different age ang tinanong niya. At napansin niya, iba't iba yung reasoning ng bawat edad doon sa tanong na yun. Okay. Doon niya na-develop itong theory na to. Ayan. Like for example, sabi niya, ang maliliit na bata, kung saan nag-i-start pa lang ma-develop ang moral reasoning nila, like for example, between the ages of 3 to 7, napansin niya na halos pare-pareho yung reasoning nila for what is right and wrong. Okay? So he called this stage, he called this level the pre-conventional level. At yung pre-conventional, nabubuo yan ng dalawa. Pinakabababa, hierarchy to. Ibig sabihin, may specific na order ng pagkakasunod-sunod. Ang pinakauna, stage 1, we call it obedience and punishment stage. Then stage 2, individualism and exchange. Tapos, yung bata na yon, pag naging teenager na, nag-iiba din yung moral reasoning. Okay, tumataas actually. So he called that level conventional level, and it is composed of 2 stages. Stage 3, developing good interpersonal relationship, and stage 4, maintaining social order. And the highest level of moral reasoning, according to Colbert, can be seen from adults. Okay, so kayo, nandito na tayo sa level na to, post-conventional level. At binubuo siya ng dalawa. Stage 5, we call it the social contract stage. And stage 6, the universal principle stage. Okay? Ayan. So, isa-isa din. Ano ang pre-conventional level? Okay, so the pre-conventional level corresponds to how infants and children think. The type of reasoning at this level is centered on the consequences of one's action, and the level is divided into two stages. Okay, take note. Ang right or wrong para sa mga bata na nasa pre-conventional level is naka-base sa consequence na nadudulot ng action. They will think that an action is right if it, first stage, avoids punishment. And they will think that an action is wrong if it leads to punishment. Okay? Yun yung unang development ng moral reasoning ng tao. Ang kabase consequence niya, whether mag-lead ba siya sa punishment or makaka-avoid ng punishment. And stage 2, an action is right. They think that an action is right if it leads to personal interest, if it leads to pleasure and satisfaction or rewards. Okay? If it does not lead to reward, then it is bad, it is wrong. Ganon ang pananaw ng mga bata, di ba? Sa pre-conventional level. So ngayon, nung tinanong actually ni Heinz yung mga bata, napansin niya parang pare-pareho na parang madami yung nagsabi ng mga maliliit na bata na hindi nila nanakawin kasi makukulong kapag nanakawin yung gamot. Ganon yung na makukulong kasi kung pag nanakawin, yung mga nagsabi na hindi nanakawin yung gamot, sabi nila, pag ninakaw kasi yan, makukulin ng pulis, ikukulong pag nagnanakaw. Kaya bad ang pagnanakaw. Yun yung reasoning nila. Okay? Nandun yun dito sa obedience and punishment. Okay? So this is the earliest stage of moral development. Okay? Wherein, ayan, sabi ko nga, the actions are good if they are able to avoid punishment, and actions are bad if they result in punishment. Okay, take note, this is normal, normal for kids na nasa 3 to 7 years old. Kasi hanggang dun pa lang yung capacity ng moral reasoning nila. Hindi pa nila kayang i-comprehend yung prinsipyo na sinasabi natin. Hindi pa nila alam yan. Ang alam lang nila, masama kapag may kakibat na punishment at maganda pag naka-avoid ng punishment. That's why, for example, if a child did something and the parent, ang ginawa niya, pinalo niya yung bata. Later on, when the child encounters another situation, same situation just like that, magdadalawang isip siya. Okay, tingin niya, hindi na niya gagawin kasi sasabihin niya, bad yun. Bakit? Pagtatanong mo, bakit? Kasi pinalo ako ni mami nung ginawa ko yun. But what if yung ginawa ng bata na yun, nakita ng parents, ang ginawa ng parent, tinawanan lang nila. O kaya, hindi lang nila pinansin. Parang wala lang. The child will think that the action is good because it avoided punishment. Okay. Ganon ang moral reasoning pagdating dito sa obedience and punishment stage. Okay. That's why if I ask you, what do you think cheating is right or wrong? If you say that it is wrong, I have to ask you why. If you say that because if you cheat, makukulong ka, okay, o mapaparusahan ka, okay, bawal pwedeng sa batas o kaya naman sa religion, sinasabi, okay, pupunta ka sa impyerno, di ba? Those are kinds of reasoning that are based on stage 1. Di ba? Like for example, it comes to our belief. Di ba? Why are we doing good things? When it comes to religion, siguro, sa akin, ang pangaral sa akin ng nanay ko, naalala ko nung bata ko, diba, gumawa ka ng mabuti para mapunta ka sa langit. Kasi ang mga batang hindi gumagawa ng mabuti, pupunta sa impyerno. Yun yung panakot nila sa akin nun Okay, o kaya naman yung pag good Christmas, bibigyan ka ni Santa Claus ng regalo. Pag naughty, wala kang regalo. Okay. Pre-conventional yun. Yung part doon na if naughty, wala kang regalo, this is stage 1. Pero yung part kung saan sinabing pag good kid, may regalo na ibibigay si Santa Claus, that is stage 2. Okay? reward orientation or individualism and exchange. Yung part na nasasabi natin, if we believe that why do we have to do good is because we will go to heaven, that is stage 2 of moral reasoning. The motivation of your action is reward. But if you think you are afraid to do evil because you believe that all evildoers will go na-gets po ba yung pre-conventional level? Hello? Na-gets po ba yung pre-conventional? Stage 1 and 2? Okay. Basta pag stage 1, punishment orientation, stage 2, rewards naman po. Okay. Kaya nga, meron din yung mga bata na nagsabi, no, na nung tinanong ni Heinz, sabi nila, you have to steal the drug. Okay? Because the wife's life is more important to him and he needs his wife to be happy. Okay? Pag namatay yung asawa niya, malulungkot si Heinz. Kaya, kailangan buhayin niya yung asawa niya. Okay? Reward. Ano yung reward doon? The life of the wife is equivalent to his happiness. That is a reward. Okay? Kung ganun ang reasoning, stage 2 yun. Okay? Ayan. So here also, no, ang focus din ng individualism and exchange, ito din kasi yung point kung saan nagiging egoistic ang mga bata, okay, na parang, di ba, ayaw nilang mag-share, okay, na ayaw nilang magbigay, nagiging selfish sila, okay, napakiramdam nila, requirement lang na mag-share kapag may nakukuhang kapalit, reciprocity. Okay, it's like saying, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Ganon din yung mindset ng mga nandito. Like, for example, sabi ng bata, tingin niya, tama ang pagpapahiram ng toy kasi may papahiram din sa kanyang toy na pabalik. Okay, malamang kayo, di ba, at some point in time, at some point in your life, nagre-resort din kayo sa ganitong klase ng reasoning. Uy, bes, turuan mo nga ako, pakopya naman ang assignment mo. Sige, bes, pakopyahin kita, pero libre mo ako ng lunch. Stage 2, individualism and exchange. Okay. Hindi ka nangopya. Tanungin kita, bakit hindi ka nangopya? Kasi natatakot ka na ma-zero ka ni ma'am kapag nahuli ka niya. Stage 1, punishment. That's why you obey. Okay? Ganun po yun. So the pre-conventional level and stages symbolizes when children have not yet understood the importance of rules in their life. They think that the consequences of their acts are most important, as they may lead to either punishment or their satisfaction or pleasure of their interest having been served. So for them, what is right or wrong is determined by what their action brings them, not by following rules. Okay. Take note ha, this is normal for children na nasa ganitong edad. Pero pag matanda ka na, hindi pwede na paulit-ulit na lang dito ka nagre-resort ng moral reasoning mo. Ibig lang sabihin nun, hindi ka nag-grow, yung moral reasoning mo hindi nagmamature. Okay, dapat ang moral reasoning daw natin pumapantay sa edad na meron tayo. Pero kung matanda ka na, tapos ang reasoning mo pa rin is depende kung may reward kang makukuha or makaka-avoid ka ng punishment, then it only means that you are stuck, okay, in this level. So your moral reasoning is just like a child's moral reasoning. Yun ang sinasabi ni Colbert dito sa level na to. Yan. Diba? Like for example, may napulot ka. Ngayon, nagko-contemplate ka kung ibabalik mo sa may-ari o hindi. Ngayon, yung reason bakit mo ibabalik, kasi natatakot kang pag nahuli ka, may nakakita pala sa'yo, makukulong ka. Do you think that is a right motivation for you to do what is good? Diba? The action is good itself, but the intention. Take note that it's not only the action that matters, but the intention in doing the act. Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na intrinsic tsaka extrinsic act. Okay? yung motivation or intention mo to do an act is not the same with the act itself or the extrinsic. Diba? Kung ang motivation mo naman, diba, sabihin natin, isusoli mo, bakit kasi may ine-expect kang reward? Okay? So take note that punishment and rewards, yes, indeed, they can motivate our action to do what is right or wrong. But must take note that they can never be a sole standard of what is right or wrong. Because if we make them a standard of right and wrong, then wala na, hindi nag-mature yung moral reasoning natin. Kasi may flaw doon kung ganon. So ibig bang sabihin, kung walang reward, tingin mo, yun na ang mali? At ibig sabihin, kung walang punishment, tingin mo, tama? Because not all actions that goes unpunished is the right action. And not all actions that leads to reward are the right actions also. So there will always be a higher moral reasoning, basis of moral reasoning, aside from the rightness and wrongness of an act. But indeed, they can motivate an action. Kaya nga sa mga grade school, sa mga kinder, nursery, di ba, ginagamit actually itong reward and punishment orientation. Diba? Noong mga panahon namin, natatakot kami. Bakit? Kasi pinapalo kami sa harap. Pag, halimbawa, hindi mo nasagutan sa board, labas ang kamay. Tapos papaluin ng chinelas ng teacher namin. Naranasan ko din yun, grade 2 ako. Diba? Pero ngayon, hindi na pwede. Pitikin mo yung bata, takakaso. So, hindi na yung bata yung natatakot, teachers na yung natatakot sa mga estudyante. Kasi sobra, it's already a form of abuse. Diba? Sa grade school, sa nursery, diba? Pag very good yung bata, anong ginagawa ng teacher? Binibigyan ng star. Reward orientation, stage 2. Kasi yun yung kayang i-comprehend pa lang ng utak nila. Okay? Ayan. We have also stage 2. Okay, can you help me read this one? Jade Mark. Can you read conventional level?
The pre-conventional stage symbolizes a stage when children have not yet understood the importance.
Wait lang. JM. Yan mo. Nasa conventional level na tayo, anak. Conventional. Ito.
Ayan mo.
Yeah.
Conventional
Okay.
level. At this stage, older children, adolescents, and young adults learn or conform to societal expectations. Conventions acquire significance for the individual and learns to follow them. They now understand the importance of conventions in their life. Level 2 is subdivided into 2 stages.
Okay. Thank you, JM. Ayan. So, conventional level naman from the word convention. Okay. Pag sinabi mong convention, what is based on norms? What is based on rules, regulations, or laws? Ganun naman What are the conventions of the society? Pag ganun kasi, di ba? Pag convention, so pinag-uusapan natin yan yung mga batas, mga sinusunod natin na nakabase sa natututunan natin sa society, mga ganon. Okay. So, dito naman, tumaas yung moral reasoning ng bata. Naging teenager na siya. At sa teenager, napakahalaga ang importansya ng convention. Okay? Sa buhay nila. So, yan. So, meron tayo yung unang stage dyan, stage 3. We call it developing good interpersonal relationship, or it can also be referred as the good boy, good girl orientation. Bakit good boy, good girl? Kasi halimbawa, yung isang boy may ginawa siyang mabuti, anong sinasabi sa kanya? Good boy. Diba? Pag may ginawang mabuti, good girl. Okay. Here, the actor or the immoral agent thinks that it is right to develop good interpersonal relationship in order to serve his or her interests. Okay. That's why they live their life based on social expectations and norms. Okay, like for example, dun sa balik tayo sa Heinz dilemma. Okay, ano yung example ng reasoning sa Heinz dilemma? Okay, yung mga teenager na tinanong ni Heinz, no? Sabi nila na meron yung steal. Sabi ng iba, dapat daw nakawin ni Heinz yung drug because Heinz loves his wife, and that is what good husbands do. They would do anything to help their loved ones. But that is what being a good husband is. Okay? That by stealing the drug, Heinz can be seen as a caring and a responsible spouse. Okay? Do you see why it is the stage 3? Because the decision of stealing the drug is actually guided by social approval. Okay? The desire for Heinz to be a good na kailangan nakawin niya. Bakit? Kasi yun yung dapat gawin ng isang good husband. Okay? Na kailangan isave mo yung wife. Not because that is what is right, but because that is what a good husband do. Yung right or wrong, nakadepende sa paano mo i-fulfill yung expectation sa'yo ng society. Yung role mo bilang asawa sa society. Yun. Okay, so the more common tendency for individuals is to conform especially to the values of the immediate group, like family, playmates, and later yung peer groups. Kaya nga, pansinin nyo, saan mas nauuso ang bullying? Sino yung usually nagiging victim ng peer pressure? Nasa anong age group? Dito, di ba? Mga adolescents. Kasi dito yung moral reasoning nila, na tingin nila it is own right to conform to their peers or conform to their roles in the society or fulfill the expectations about them. Diba? Kaya usually sila yung nagiging victim ng peer pressure. Kasi in order to be to be part of a certain group, they have to change, they have to do anything to please those people around them. Ganun ang moral reasoning nila. Okay, that's why if you praise a teenager or if you praise a kid na nandito sa stage na to, tingin nila, magugustuhan nila, they will like it, tingin nila yun yung tama. Okay. Kaya nga maalala ko nung nandito ako sa stage na to, di ba? Ito yung uso yung sa Ilocano, yung sinasabi natin, durug-durugan da, classmate da. Sasabi, parang yung sige nga, kalabitin mo yung tenga niya, tingnan natin, matapang ka, ganon. Di ba, uso sa amin yung ganon nun, yung mga boys sa klase, ganon, sige nga, tingnan natin, sinong matapang, kalabitin mo nga yung tenga niya, pag di niya nagawa, wala ka pala, di ka palang matapang. So the kid will think that doing what the playmates or doing what the peer said to him or her is what is right if he's able to fulfill his role in that peer group. Okay. Diba? This is stage 3. Nagets po ang stage 3. Yan. Kaya pag ang moral reasoning mo is just to please people around you, that you think an action is right, as long as it pleases anyone, then you are stuck in this stage 3 of moral reasoning. Take note, it is normal for kids or teenagers who are in this stage, but if you are beyond that age group, then ibig sabihin, dapat hindi ka na lang mas mature na yung moral compared to them. Okay, we have also stage 4. Ito, tumaas na naman ng isang stage yung moral reasoning. Okay, it's called maintaining social order. Okay, Erica, kindly read what stage 4 is. Erica?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, naririnig na po ako.
Yes, dear. Loud and clear.
Stage 4, maintaining social order. It is the growing understanding of the significance of societal norms. By this time, the individual has discovered that following norms is not only advantageous, to them but also vital for society as a whole. The majority of the laws, norms, and regulations of one society are therefore accepted and valued by the individual at this stage. The moral reasoning of this stage is shaped by duty to the social norms represented in its rules and laws. In this in this stage, adolescents place such a high value on upholding laws and rules that when others break them, such as when laws are improperly or wrongly implemented, they are capable of rebelling against a system that regards the laws.
Okay, thank you, Erica. Ayan. Maintaining social order. Ito naman, tumaas yung moral reasoning. Bakit? Kasi ang nire-regard ng tao na right or wrong ay hindi na lang based sa punishment, hindi na lang based sa reward, at hindi na lang din based sa social expectation, but based on laws and rules and regulation. Here, tumawag yung understanding ng tao, ng individual, in the sense that he now regard laws as important. Okay? Why? In order to maintain social order. Okay? So, napaka-high ng regard ng isang individual sa laws, rules, and regulations, wherein the individual will adopt a legalistic attitude, a legalistic point of view na whatever is written in the law, whatever is written in rules and regulations are the right actions. Okay. Take note baka malito kayo mamaya dun sa stage 1 at stage 4. Kasi pag sinabi natin, like for example, you should not steal. Why? If you say that because stealing will lead you to go to jail, that is a punishment, that is stage 1. But if you say that you should not steal because stealing is against the law, that is stage 4. Magkaiba po yun. Okay. Yan. Parang halimbawa, balik tayo sa Heinz Dilemma. Meron yung mga sumagot na dun sa tanong ni Heinz na sabi nila, you should not steal the drug. Okay? Because there are laws and they are in place to maintain social order. That stealing might lead to breaking the law and later on might lead to chaos. Okay? That, as an individual, you should not steal because it is against the rules. That you have to uphold and respect the rules, even if it means the life of your wife. Okay? Ganon naman yung reasoning ng stage 4. Ang emphasis ay naka-place sa pag-maintain ng social order, sa pag-obey ng laws, at pag-ibigin ng duty mo bilang isang citizen. Okay? Na tingin mo, mga nakasulat sa batas, dapat sundin. Kasi yun yung tama. Okay. Do you think this is a good kind of moral reasoning? Ano sa tingin nyo? Tama ba yung ganitong klase ng moral reasoning? Ba at some point, kung titingnan natin, tama. Kasi hindi lang yung sarili mo ang nire-regard mo, kundi pangkalahatang kailangan ng bayan. At tama lang naman na sumunod tayo sa batas. At tama lang naman na irespeto natin ang rules and regulations. But then again, if you look at it, bakit stage 4 siya? Bakit hindi stage 5? Bakit hindi stage 6? Bakit stage 4 lang siya? Ibig bang sabihin, meron pa dapat mas mataas na standard na basis natin ng kung ano ang tama at mali, maliban sa batas? Okay, bakit kaya? Ano kaya ang flaw naman nitong stage na to? Why is it not regarded as the highest stage or perhaps higher stage than being at the stage 4? What do you think? Anyone? Anyone? Bakit? Ano bang meron sa stage 4? Simply because, take note, not everything that is legal is ethical. Okay, yun yung rason. Not everything that is legal is ethical. Paano pag nakasulat sa batas pwedeng pumatay? Ibig bang sabihin na din tama ang pagpatay? Okay. Paano pag nakasulat sa batas pwedeng kumabit at kumaliwa? Ibig sabihin then you will commit adultery because it is written in the law. Ayan. Kaya siya stage 4 lang. Because there will always be higher standard of right and wrong rather than just simply obeying rules and regulation. And besides, if we adopt a legalistic attitude, na minsan nakakalimutan natin yung pagiging tao in the sense that we forget to be compassionate. We tend to forget about justice. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng nakasulat sa batas justifiable. The law, take note, even if the law, kasi karamihan sa atin siguro, di ba, lagi nire-relate natin ang law sa justice. The law upholds justice. The law is equivalent to justice. But no, that is not true. Justice is giving what one deserves. Okay? And sometimes, nakakalimutan natin yun. Diba? Nakakalimutan ng batas yun. Pag sinabi mo kasing giving what one deserves, pwedeng positive yun or negative eh. Diba? As long as you deserve it. Okay. Pag sinabi kong, uy, congrats, deserve mo yan. Ibig sabihin, may ginawa kang maganda, deserve mo yan. Pero pag sinabi ko, uy, sige, deserve mo yan eh. Pwedeng negative yun. Karma pala yun para sa'yo. But then again, you deserve it. Okay? Parang ganun kasi yun. So, if we just adhere to the laws, norms of society, of our organization, and even our religion, we are caught in the second stage of the conventional level, or what we call the fourth stage of moral reasoning development. Because we adopt a legalistic attitude of what is right and wrong. Okay? And we are unable to comprehend the reasons behind why there are laws and rules to obey at the first place. Diba? Yun ang problema naman dito. Yes, it's good to uphold the law, but we should not forget that the law is not equivalent to what is ethical. Okay? Kaya nga magkakaiba ang law natin, diba? Meron pa rin tayong mga principles, universal rules and principles that goes beyond the written rules or laws that we know. Okay. Like for example, we see these different scenarios, parang nung pandemic, di ba? Grabe, yung mga injustices na nakikita natin. Di ba? Yung simpleng hindi pag-obey sa mga, like for example, rules and regulations. Ang problema, yung politician na hindi sumunod, anong ginawa? Diba? Hinaus arrest lang ng ilang araw lang, libre pang nakakagala. Samantalang, yung simpleng mamamayan, yung isang matanda na kailangan maghanap buhay, maghanap ng pagkakakitaan para may pakain sa pamilya, okay, dahil hindi siya sumunod, nakulong siya ng ilang buwan. Makita niyo yun? So does it mean then that because they followed the law, they followed the rules and regulation, they are already right in upholding it? Okay. Well, sasabihin mo, ay wala, nagnakaw siya, tinapay man yan, o noodles man yan, sardinas man yan, nagnakaw siya eh. Ang pagnanakaw, mali sa batas. So, dapat lang makulong siya. Okay. Sometimes we forget to be human. As human beings, we are also emotional beings. We should also be compassionate beings. We are not merely robots that just uphold whatever is written, whatever there are rules. I'm not saying na huwag niyong sundin ang batas ha, kasi kailangan niyong sundin ang batas. But then again, kailangan, bago tayo sumunod sa batas, pag-isipan muna natin mabuti. Tama ba talaga? Yung bang pinapatupad na yun ba talaga ang tama? Yun ba talaga kung ano yung kailangan natin gawin. Okay? Ayan. That's why we still have a higher standard, that is the post-conventional level. Ano naman tong post-conventional level na to? Okay, this is the highest level of moral reasoning according to Kohlberg, wherein if you're already an adult, then your moral reasoning should be at this level. Okay? Ang post-conventional naman, people understand that it is no longer important to simply obey rules of the society. By this point, the moral agent is aware that what is more important is acting in accordance with one's own principles or conviction. Okay. Dito, na-realize na natin na hindi na punishment ang basihan, hindi na reward. Hindi ang social expectation, kundi yung sarili prinsipyo. Kasi lahat tayo may prinsipyo na nakaayon sa rationality natin. Yun nga lang, may moral dilemma dito. Ano yun? Yun bang prinsipyo na pinaglalaban mo ay yun talaga yung tamang prinsipyo? Yun lang ang moral dilemma. Kasi lahat naman tayo, ginagawa natin ang isang bagay or ang isang act because we believe that that is the best thing that there is, that is the best thing that we should do. Diba? Even if the act is wrong. Kaya nga meron yung mga erroneous na reasoning diba? May kabit siya. Ang reasoning niya, sabi niya, nagmahal lang naman ako. Hindi na kasi ako masaya. Masama ba ang pagmamahal? Sabi nga ni Lord, love that mahal lang ako. Kailan pa pinagkait ng Diyos ang pagiging masaya sa pamagitan ng pagmamahal ng kapwa ko na. Diba? So, the individual there is actually thinking that what he's doing is the best thing to do. That is the right thing to do. Okay? But then again, do we really think that the principle we have is really the right principle followed? Okay, that is the question. Ayan. So, itong level na to nahahati sa dalawang stages. Stage 5, social contract. Stage 6, universal principle. Okay, itong social contract naman, sige, basa. Irish, kindly read. Irish. One Irish ko. Alan Kurt. Alan. Mr. Malyari. Okay, Alan, kindly read what stage 5 is.
Ma'am, naririnig po ba ako?
Yes po.
Sige po. Stage 5, social contract. People in this stage start to take other people's different values, opinions, and beliefs into consideration due to the concept of a social contract. Agreements that rational agents have reached, whether explicitly or implicitly, in order to serve what can be considered the common good are what one ought to follow. A society needs rules of law to function, but these laws must be agreed upon by all members of the society. The common good is something that rational agents recognize as their calling and should respect and uphold.
Thank you, Allen. Ayan. So, ito naman, ang morality ng tao dito ay nakabase sa social contract. Ano bang social contract? Diba? Kontrata. So, agreements that individuals, rational agents, have reached, whether this is implicit or explicit contract, as long as it serves what we call common good. And we think here in this stage that the common good is what to be followed or what needs to be upheld. Okay? So morality is viewed in terms of whether it benefits the common good or not. Naniniwala tayo dito na laws should be upheld but only if they promote the greatest good for the majority. Okay? And if it does not promote common good, then we ought not to follow it. Ganun yun. Kaya nga dito, di ba, halimbawa, may mga decisions na kailangan natin gawin. Parang, great example of this one is democracy. Okay. Halimbawa, yung right natin to vote. Pag nagluklok ka ng isang leader, hindi pwedeng luklok niya yung sarili niya. Kailangan may say muna dyan ang mga mamamayan. Kaya nga, may botohan na nangyayari. Kung ano yung tingin ng mamamayan, nag-agree sila na ito yung tama, ito yung okay, we have to follow it. Ganun yun. Because social contract nga, the common good is that the society thinks is what ought to be followed. If it does not promote common good, then we ought not to follow it. Okay. So the rights of the majority is upholded in stage 5. Yun nga lang, we still cannot consider it as the highest stage because of course there is still a flaw here. Kasi not everything that is approved by the majority is really ethical. Kasi kung ina-uphold lang natin yung rights ng majority, ano naman yung minority? Ibig sabihin ba wala silang rights? Okay? Like for example, when it comes to voting, if I'm going to question you now, do you think what the majority voted last election are really the right leaders that we should have? Diba? That is a question. Okay? So, does that mean that when we uphold social contract, and that is the highest principle, still, there should be a higher standard rather than upholding what the majority states or what the majority is upholding. Kaya nga meron tayong stage 6. At para kay Colbert, ito yung pinakamataas na klase ng moral reasoning. Ito kasi yung moral reasoning kung saan yung decisions natin ay ginaguide ng tinatawag nating universal principle. Ang universal principle, these are higher laws that goes beyond conventional socially imposed laws. Okay, meron kasi yung sabi ko kanina, meron yung mga laws, rules, na they are not written, but as long as you have rationality, you know it, that is what is right. Diba? Like for example, killing. Bago pa man nagkaroon ng batas tungkol sa pagpatay, bilang isang tao, alam natin, as long as rational individual ka, alam mo na hindi ka dapat pwede basta-basta pumapatay. Diba? Alam mo yun. Okay? Nakabase yun sa reasoning mo, as long as you are a human being. Okay? So these are abstract laws actually, yung universal principles na to. Okay? And if our actions are guided by these abstract principles of ethics, these abstract principles of justice and human dignity, that, we apply it universally regardless of societal laws. Diba? Kaya nga, for example, kahit yung cases ng abortion, talagang pinagdedebat yung mga pros and cons yan. Kasi buhay yung pinag-uusapan. At lahat ng tungkol sa buhay ay hindi natin basta-basta dapat binabaliwala. Okay? Alam natin yun. Nakatalaga yun sa universal principle natin bilang isang tao. So if our moral reasoning is guided by these universal principles, okay, ibig sabihin, your moral reasoning is already in stage 6. Take note. Lahat tayo may kapasidad na marating itong stage 6. Pero hindi lahat ng tao talaga nakakarating sa stage 6. Okay? Ang hirap. Diba? Kaya nga, mahirap kasi i-uphold kung ano talaga ang tama. Diba? Yun yung dilemma natin bilang tao. Kaya nga yung mga taong nakakarating sa stage 6, we regard them as heroes. We call them saints. Okay? We give them dignified title in the society because they did things beyond what we imagine as human beings. Diba? Halimbawa, yung mga bayani, diba? Willing silang isakripisyo yung buhay nila, yung well-being nila para ipaglaban yung prinsipyo na alam nilang tama. Para sa kapakanan ng bansa nila at ng nakararami, diba? Para sa kapakanan ng justice, diba? Willing silang mamatay. Carry mo ba yon? Diba? Ang hirap. Okay? Ganun kasi yon. Diba? Like for example, if we are going to ask people, should they steal the Heinz, ayun sa Heinz dilemma, if their reasoning is that steal the draft because they might say saving a human life is our universal moral obligation that transcends laws. Okay? Pag sinabi mong ganon, that is already stage 6. Kasi you regard human life as something that is higher. That you regard human life as something that is our moral responsibility and obligation to uphold it. Okay? So yung act, you justify it by ethical principles of justice, compassion, and the inherent value of human life itself, even if it means you break the law. That is already stage 6 pag ganun. Pero ma'am, edi ibig sabihin, kailangan ko munang magbuwis ng buhay para maabot ang stage 6. Hindi naman. Okay. Ang sinasabi natin dito, if your moral reasoning is that you are doing a thing or you're not doing a thing simply because you know that that is right, not because of anything else, then you are already at stage 6. Diba? Halimbawa, may quiz kayo, di ka nakapag-review, yung katabi mo, open na open yung papel niya, di ba? Isang silip mo lang, alam mo ng sagot. Kitang-kita mo. But then again, hindi ka nangopya. Ngayon, kung tatanungin kita, pag sinabi mo, hindi ako nangopya kasi natatakot akong mahuli ni ma'am. Anong moral reasoning yun? Anong stage? Anong stage? Uy, mga auntie, anong stage yun?
What?
Okay, very good. Diba? Stage 1. Paano ba? Hindi ako mangopya kasi nakalagay sa student handbook, masama, bawal ang cheating. Anong stage yon? Nakalagay sa student handbook, masama, bawal ang mangopya, kaya hindi. Anong stage yon? Stage auntie, anong stage yun?
4 po, ma'am.
Very good. Okay, stage 4. Ba't sila Lota lang sumasagot? Saan yung iba? Stage 4. Okay, kasi nakasulat sa rules, regulation, batas. Okay. Paano pag sinabi niya man, hindi ako nangopya kasi sabi ni ma'am, ang mga hindi mangongopya, may plus points sa akin. Anong stage yun?
Ay, ma'am. 3 lang po, ma'am. Sabi ni Lota.
Sabi ni Lota, ulitin ko. Ang mga hindi mangongopya, kasi sabi ni ma'am, bibigyan niya ng plus points.
Ma'am, stage 2.
Stage 2. May reward plus point. Okay. Parang ganito yung mga quiz niya later on, ha? The application. Okay, paano naman pag sinabi niyang hindi ako nangopya kasi katabi ko yung crush ko. Nakakahiya naman. Baka isipin niya cheater ako. Stage yun?
3, ma'am.
Stage 3. Very good. Okay, alam niyo na? Paano pag sinabi niya, hindi ako nangopya kasi nung lumingon ako sa paligid ko, majority wala akong nakitang nangongopya. Ano stage yun?
5 po.
Okay. Stage 5. Ang stage 6, pag sinabi niya, hindi ako nangopya kasi alam kong ang tamang gawain ay hindi pangongopya. Okay. Just because you simply believe that that is what is right, and you have to uphold what is right, whether there are punishments or not, there are rewards or not, whether your crush will see you or not, you don't care as long as you believe. You have to uphold what is right. Then that is stage 6. Okay. Gets po? Naiintindihan ba? questions? Ayan, sabi nyo ha. So, the theory of Kohlberg's, yes, Mel,